going, everybody? This is Kevin Bradford, aka Kevin Corp, singer, songwriter, salesperson / budding entrepreneur. This is going to be a quick introduction, and then we're going to jump right into the interview. Go ahead, my friend.
Oh, excellent. Well, that was a quick introduction. Hey, Kevin, thanks for taking the time to come here and meet on Zoom. And let's talk about Spellgrounds and Khalsa Brain Games. For those who don't know, I'm Japji Khalsa, one of the founders of Khalsa Brain Games and creators of Spellgrounds.
Awesome. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I'm so excited to do this interview. I've always wanted to talk to you about all of these things. So I want to ask, as an entrepreneur and a budding entrepreneur, I'd consider myself, what does success mean to you? Specifically to you?
You know, that's also a really great question. I think it's not just a question that can be asked of entrepreneurs, but pretty much anybody in their life, you know. I think success has a lot of, can have a lot of different meanings. I mean, for me, it is definitely not, and I mean this, it's not making a lot of money. I like making money. I like a lifestyle that affords me to do stuff, but I've never said I can make $1 million if I, price. I mean, honest to God, I could have priced Spellgrounds when they were selling so hot. I could have priced them at 3 times what I charged and sold them all, but I didn't think that was fair. I felt like what was a fair price was a certain markup from where what I had paid to get there. And so success to me is not just about wealth. I like making some money so I can, enjoy life. But another example of success that I've considered in my life is having children. So, you have children, they grow up, and what does that mean? Was I successful as a parent? And truthfully, I feel like that's a success that I've gotten at, because my kids are happy. They're doing what they like. My son has even said to me, he said, "Dad, I just want you to know that you being an independent person has inspired me to do the things I do. And it's really an inspiration." So I'm successful that way. For business, I think, I think one of the great successes I had, for example, with Kubla Khan is, I created a game convention. It became the largest gaming convention on the West Coast. And I think that the success I have there is really about having created something that brings joy and happiness to people. There's a feeling that comes with that. Yeah, there's a feeling that comes with that isn't the kind of money I can put, go ka-ching ka-ching and on a cash register. It's like there has always been a time when I was running Kubla Khan where I would stand at this one little overlook, and I'd look down in the lobby where there'd be a few hundred people like milling around and doing stuff. And it would almost bring tears to my eyes, because in that moment, it brings tears to my eyes right now. In that moment, I knew that my efforts, and it had not been my efforts, it may not have happened. My efforts were bringing all these people together to play together, to laugh, to have fun, to visit family, to meet new friends. And that success is what that falls in the category of what it means to be successful. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is exactly the kind of answer I thought that I would get, honestly.
I mean, same thing. If you hear people playing your music, or right? I mean, and they say, "Oh my God, I love that song. I love this lyric. I love that thing, that riff you did, whatever it is." Mm-hmm. Man, that just feels good.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing like it at all. And I hope that people who see this can get that kind of inspiration, because there are people who want to create. And I think that is the key takeaway, is, the success is not about the wealth. And I'm so glad that I asked that question. I wrote that in kind of, I was like, I'm going to ask this question. I'm glad, because people think that it's about the money, and it's really not. It's about that fulfillment. It's about what you add to the world, the value that you give. And I'm happy to hear that story, and I can see how passionate you are about that, and that's such an inspiration.
And I'm glad for that, because it really is. It's easy to count money, but it's it's not easy to count deeds.
Yep.
I know.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I got a little heavy there. I love it.
That's all right. Hey, we're not just all fun and games here, people.
We're not just all fun and games, and this is all real. So, yeah, and I was going to ask you what steps you took to become. I have it written here. What steps did you take to become an entrepreneur? But I think you answered that already. When you were 8 years old, that's anyone looking.
Yeah, some people
looking was like this kid right here.
I wasn't like I knew. I just like, hey, I love this, Yeah.
You just knew, yeah. And that is so great. So now, if you could meet yourself in the past with the knowledge that you have right now, the cliche, if you could go back and tell yourself anything when you were starting out, what advice would you give? What would you tell yourself?
And here I am being honest again. I think that as a younger person, there's this kind of a drive, and it's like I want to get it done. I want to get it done now. I want to, whatever it is, right? And I think the nature of that creates a certain amount of stress, tension, and even anger. I could be an angry person if I'm trying to get something done, and usually it's my own fault that something's not working. Then I'm mad at myself. It didn't work.
Then you're so angry.
And but I think I would say to myself, be kinder. I think if there's anything that I look back on, I think there have been moments in my life, not where I've been intentionally mean, but where my passion and who I am, a very demanding, very task-oriented person, could have been kinder. And not that that's hurt me or, in a lot of ways, but I can see ways, I'm an older person now. I can see how that might have served me a little better in certain things. It just inside here, Yeah.
Okay. And that's a lot to, take in right there. It's a lot to take in. And, as someone who is going through, I feel I'm in that coffee shop, if that makes sense to you right now, so talking to someone like you, I know that this inspires me so much, and that's some of these questions I wanted to know, and I know that there's a lot of people that think like me, like you, a lot of people think like this, and sometimes they need to hear these things, there's so much, there's doubt, there's anxiety, and there's thrill in living a life. Like you say, you've never had a job, and that right there, that's, some people look at that, like, you never had a job, but other people are like, you've never had, that's right there, that's where that there's success coming, and that's
backtrack just a little bit to
sure
up a little. I actually have had a job, sorta recently. Just to throw this out there, one of the things that came about from magic teleprompting is that, and Kevin knows this about me, is I tour with a rock band. I'm a roadie. I'm a gamer and a corporate guy. I'm a roadie. I get it. It's not a confession. It's just a fact. So I tour with a band, and we travel all around the country. And and there's something also. There was a point to all this, but so it is a job. That's been that I get on somebody's payroll. But so that's one job I've had.
Yeah, but that's a job you chose, I'm guessing.
I love that job. It's like a vacation. I'm really sad that it's all of that is completely because of COVID. And I keep getting notices in my calendar like, oh, Red Rock show tonight or last night or travel home today. Because for whatever
schedule
for punishment,
just schedule you wrote.
I'm not going to take them off my calendar. I'll just remind you how much I'm missing.
Oh my. Yeah, you just. Oh no.
I could have been there this weekend.
Okay, so go ahead.
No, I appreciate it. All your questions that you've been asking. It's been fantastic.
Yeah. So I asked a lot of questions about, the past. We talked a lot about the past, and so right now, you've talked so much about how you've developed as a business person, as a person, and with your company, with everything, and a lot of that is branding. And I know that there's personal branding that you've been talking about. So would you like to talk about the turban? A lot of people are asking about that.
A good question. And personal brand, because I talk about that too. The brand, Spellground brand. So my brand, people who know me for all these years, you might notice that I considered it my brand, sort of wearing a turban, and it was a religious choice. It was Sikh, but I'm not really very religious, and kind of like, but what I found that when COVID came in, and because I work in entertainment and I'm in a position where I need to hear people speaking that I couldn't hear with a turban on. It would cover my ears, and I already wear hearing aids, and people would wear masks, and that would muffle their voices. And on top of that, I couldn't actually see their lips move.
Yeah.
For somebody who's a little hearing impaired, seeing lips move is really important. So I've moved to this look for now. I'm not sure it's a new brand or what, but it's just, it's not like I had an epiphany and wasn't a Sikh anymore. I'm kind of practical.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a good look, though. It's a good look. It looks very natural for you. You wear it well.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying that. And so we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. Now that right there, that's all the questions that I have for you. And I want to thank you so much. This has been an incredible interview, and I've always for years wanted to talk to you about these things. And really, it means a lot. So thank you for taking the time for this. I really appreciate it.
And thank you, because I was thinking about, it's funny, I saw you do a post on Facebook, said, hey, I'm going to start doing interviews or something like that. And literally before that, I thought, I should ask Kevin Bradford to interview me, because you're people love you in the community. As far as I can tell, you're a good guy. Pretty much so. And I saw your post. I said, oh, perfect. Why don't you interview me? So here we are. And thank you very much. I think it's been fun.
Yeah, it's honestly, I don't know if you know how much it means. You've been a huge inspiration in my life. So thank you.
You are very welcome. And thanks to all our fans for watching and enduring this interview.